Variables are a fundamental building block of all programming languages. Let's begin by defining what a variable is. Put simply, a variable is a placeholder for a value that you either don't know or that might change. If that brings back bad memories of algebra at school, don't worry. We use variables in everyday life without thinking twice about them. Hi, my name's David. What's your name? In this case, name is a variable. When talking about me, name has the value David, but in your case, it might be Ian, Linda, or Harper7. When you go to the checkout in an online store, it tells you the total to pay for goods and delivery. It's a different value each time, but it's always called total. So that's essentially what a variable is. The name of the variable always remains the same, but it can represent different values depending on the circumstances. When creating variables in PHP, you need to follow some basic rules. In PHP, variables always begin with a $sign. After the $sign, you can have any combination of letters, numbers, and the underscore. However, the first character after the $sign must not be a number. There must be no spaces or hyphens, and all variable names are case sensitive. Choosing good names for variables is important. It's best to choose names that tell you what the variable is for. Don't use really short names of just 1 or 2 letters to try to reduce the amount of typing you have to do. It's a really bad idea, except for when the variable is simply used to keep count, for example, of the number of times a loop has run. Similarly, don't use cryptic abbreviations. You might understand what the variable is for now, but if you need to update your script in 6 months' time, you probably won't have a clue. Remember that PHP code remains on the server, so the only people who see the variables are the developers responsible for maintaining the code. Good variable names make your code easy to understand and maintain. Use camel case or the underscore to distinguish between multiple words in a variable name. Camel case capitalizes the first letter of each subsequent word. In the first example, the N of name is in uppercase. But don't forget that variables are case sensitive. If you spell first name all in lowercase, PHP will treat it as a different variable. As long as you follow those basic rules, you can name your variables just about anything you like, with a handful of exceptions. The variable this is reserved for use in PHP object-oriented scripts. You should also avoid using any of the predefined reserved variables listed at this URL on the PHP website. Most of them are PHP superglobal variables. We'll look at superglobals later in this course. So to recap, choose meaningful names for variables. Always begin variable names with a $sign. Use only letters, numbers, and the underscore, but don't use a number as the first character after the $sign. And above all, remember that variables are case sensitive. Using the wrong combination of uppercase and lowercase is one of the most common beginner mistakes.